Welcome back to Facebook Live with the Virginia Living Museum. My name is Robin Sutker. I'm the Bird and Mammal curator. Right now you guys are getting to meet an animal that we haven't had at the Virginia Living Museum in quite a while, if ever. And we have a little mink over here. Her name is Koa. We are giving her some fun exercise time to stretch her legs in the planetarium lobby. So it's actually an area that you guys can come and visit when we are open. This is in the Wasson Education Center. Koa is only about 1.5 years, 2 years old. She was a fur farm rescue, so it's pretty important to know about the history of the mink when you think about stuff like that. Sorry, she's just coughing up a little bit. You guys will probably see her just wandering around, rubbing on stuff, cleaning herself, and she's just using some of her scent glands to make sure everybody knows that all of this is hers now, so that's okay. So the history of mink is pretty complicated. Technically, there are two living, we're just trying to follow her, she's going all over the place. There are two living species of mink. There's the American mink and the Eurasian mink. The American mink is not of any concern as far as being endangered, but the Eurasian species is being monitored by the IUCN. So she is considered, or the species itself is considered, I believe, endangered at this time. But a lot of that actually is because of introductions of the American mink to Eurasian mink territory. So it's really important, even though the species look the same, it's important to know where they're from and their background and whatnot. I believe we have a question?
No.
Nothing yet? All right, cool. I just figured you guys would be full of questions for this little animal. Again, this is Koa. She is a mink. We don't know if she's an American mink or a Eurasian mink, but their behaviors are pretty similar, so we kind of manage her with that. You can see they are related to ferrets. They almost look like little otters. They are closely related. We're just giving her some exercise time to run around, to stretch her legs, and now we do have a question.
Yeah, Jessica West, Mason, age 6, is asking, can he climb?
Oh yes, Koa is an excellent climber. So that's why you're probably seeing in the video, there's quite a few of us in here, because we're all trying to just keep an eye on her. It really does take a village to exercise a mink, just because they can be so crazy and they can run all over the place. They have a lot of energy. You can actually see her rubbing on some stuff over there.
Have some
and
more
they can climb very, very well.
We got a couple more. How big does a mink get? From Melinda Cheatham.
That is it. So she is about 2 pounds. You can see she's only about, I would say, 1 foot long. This is it. She is considered a small carnivore. I think she wants to go see if we have any planetarium shows today. Sorry, Koa.
Koa, you need to come back now. It's too dark.
So she is as big as she's going to get. And a male mink would be a little bit bigger than that.
Anna, age 11, would like to know, does their fur smell?
Their fur, she as a whole doesn't really smell, but they do scent mark quite a bit. So that means that they kind of rub their bodies, their butts, their mouths, all over everything to make sure that all their territory smells like that. But she herself does not smell. Her fur is very soft though.
5-year-old Thomas just told me they spray when scared like a skunk. I'm curious, is he right?
Sometimes they can, so they can musk. They can kind of express their scent glands if they want to try to surprise a predator. I think that would be surprising for any predator. All of a sudden they go poof, and it's very scary, but it's not quite the same as a skunk spraying.
We got a question. Got a couple actually. Does she have sharp teeth, or he?
She does, has very, very sharp teeth. So she is a small carnivore. She hunts things like bugs, small birds, lizards, fish, really anything she can get her hands on. And she has very, very sharp little needle-like teeth to be able to successfully hunt and eat her prey.
What do they eat?
They eat all kinds of things. They're carnivores. So most of the stuff they eat is pretty much whatever they can get their little hands on. They can even hunt things that are a little bit bigger than they are, so they could potentially go for a squirrel or a large bird or something like that if they were able to catch them.
And then Tanya Hobbs from Jonah wants to know, how many babies can they have?
You know what? I don't know the answer to that, but I will look it up and get back to you guys in the comments later.
Gray and Claire want to know if mink are nocturnal.
They certainly can be. You can see them out during the day if you have a very good sharp eye, but like a lot of mustelids or weasels, they too tend to prefer the low light hours, so that way they can have a little bit of an advantage over their prey.
Wesley, age 7, wants to know if they can swim.
They are awesome swimmers. These guys are actually considered semi-aquatic. And that means that they do prefer going in the pool. So we do have a pool set up over here for her. She may or may not get in today, just because there's so much other things to explore. But she's a really good swimmer, and actually she prefers spending most of her time in the pool. She actually takes most of her toys in the pool with her to play.
Stephanie Beatty wants to know what predators do they have?
These guys, because they're so small, they are susceptible to a lot of predators. So different kinds of owls, like the great horned owl, bobcat, really anything that would be fast enough to get them would potentially be able to catch them and eat them. But these guys are very similar to ferrets. So if you guys have ever tried to hold a ferret or a slinky perhaps, it can be very difficult to hold. They're really able to quote unquote weasel out of any situation. So these guys, we really do a lot of training with her because she is so difficult to handle. Not that she doesn't want to be handled, just the way that her body is shaped. So we actually train her to go into a kennel on her own so she can go on adventures like this.
Well, Nick, age 6, would like to know if she runs fast, and I think you can see from the video that I'm having a hard time catching up with her. So you tell me, does she run fast?
She can run pretty fast. We usually, in these situations, we have to plan quite a bit of our time, at least an hour or so, to allow her to go out and play and stretch her legs, because we essentially have to wait for her to be ready to go back home and to be tired out. Usually you'll see by the end of these sessions, we can certainly take a picture of it later. She actually will start laying down because she gets so tired. So we just wait for her to tell us that she's done.
Oh, Owen, age 4, wants to know, where do they live?
Mink live in the forest, basically any forested area, so you'd actually find them in parts of Virginia and up and down the East Coast. You can find them in any dense forest, but like I said, they are a little bit difficult to spot just because of their size and how fast they are.
Graham wants to know, I think we already asked this, how many babies they have at a time?
We're going to have to look that one up for you. My best guess would probably be about 4 to 6 pups at a time, but I'm going to look it up and get you guys a better answer after the live feed is over.
Samantha Bassett wants to know, do you know how old she is?
She's about 2 years old.
And then Lomont wants to know, what animals do they live with?
These guys don't necessarily live with other animals. Sometimes animals will have special relationships with each other, where sometimes they have benefits. You might think of like a shark and a remora, where they'll kind of groom each other, or oxpeckers out on the savannah with some of the big grass-eating animals like elephants or wildebeest. But these guys, because they're predators, basically anything that they live with that's small enough becomes fair game for food.
Jason Smith says, my daughter asked how they have, or is their hearing good?
Their hearing is very good. So these guys, being hunters, they have to be very, very aware of their surroundings. So their sense of smell is very good, but also they can listen for mice and bugs and other things that are kind of hidden from them. Now she's got the zoomies. And they have to be able to find them to hunt and eat them.
Do they make noise? From Cadence, age 9.
She doesn't really make noise. We've never heard her make any noise. And I'm going to look that up because I'm actually curious about that too, to see if they are capable of making an actual noise.
Mason asks, do they hibernate?
They do not. These guys are going to be active all winter long.
Abigail, age 9, wants to know, what colors can they be? And that she's so cute.
We think she's cute too. So these guys just come kind of in this color. They can be a little bit more brown. Sometimes you may see a white one out further in the western United States, but that's actually a different species. That's called an ermine. They almost look like teeny tiny pandas. They're white and kind of have black marks on their face and things like that. But this is the only color you'll see a mink really come in.
Brady, age 7, would like to know, do they like people?
So just like all animals, a lot of times when you see them in a zoo or an aquarium, they've become habituated to people. So she's by no means domesticated, she's not tame, but she is used to us and she is comfortable with us. She certainly knows all of our keepers here. But if you were to encounter one out in the wild, they would probably use their running skills and move away from you quickly, basically because they would see you as a predator.
From Sophia, age 6, how much do they weigh? And then also Jessie, age 10, wants to know how long you've had her.
We've had Koa since the fall. We're working on putting together an exhibit for her right now. And then they weigh about 2 pounds for females, and the males can be about 4 pounds. Sometimes they can get a little bit bigger than that if they get, a little bit too much to eat, but that's probably about it. They're quite light.
You guys have any more questions, feel free to keep asking in.
So for those of you guys who may just be joining us, we are checking out our little mink here. This is Koa. She's about 2 years old, weighs just about 2 pounds. She's a semi-aquatic small carnivore. She likes to swim in water. She eats lots of little things, basically anything she can get her paws on. And there's quite a few of us here because as you guys can see, she has a lot of energy. Sorry, like we said, it is very difficult to keep up with her. She is a mink.
Does she eat fish? From Riley, age 9.
She sure can. So because she does live in the water, she's able to catch any fish. She certainly will eat them.
Wants to know, Benjamin, age 4, can they climb trees?
They can climb trees. So they're not quite as good climbers as, let's say, a squirrel is. But it is certainly something that they enjoy doing. So it looks like she did see that there is water there. So hopefully if we give her a minute, she should go for a swim. Certainly if we catch her swimming in there later, we'll take a video of that for you guys so you can enjoy it too, because it is quite wonderful to see her swimming.
Audrey, age 11, are they only black?
They come in a little bit more of a brownish color, but this is about the color that you'll see them in. Sometimes if you look at her in the light, she actually is a little bit brownish reddish. So right now she's trying to figure out how to get in the pool. So I think you guys are going to be treated to a little bit of a swimming mink. If we want to move the camera around to this side, maybe she'll try to use her crate that you guys see there. So that little transport crate that's next to the pool is what we trained her to go into. Right now she's having some fun with some stuffed animals.
Gray asks, are her toes webbed to help her swim?
I believe they are. If you guys actually look at the Facebook event that we posted earlier today, there was a picture on there, we'll post it later too, of her recent annual wellness exam, and you can see her feet on there, nice up close and personal.
Keely, age 12, what's her favorite toy? And also that was asked by Graham, age 5.
Becky, what do you think her favorite toy is?
Any kind of balls. She likes to play with balls, so she likes the ball pit, and she loves water and anything in water, but she will run and play with little balls. I think she likes stuff that moves.
Yes.
And my foot, apparently. Genesis asks for Justice, where are they originally from?
These minks are found in 2 places in the world. You have the American mink, which is found across a good portion of the United States and North America. And then you have the Eurasian mink, which is found across Europe and then into Asia as well. And they are 2 separate distinct species.
Laura asks, how big can they get?
This is as big as they will get as an adult. So she is a full-grown adult female. She's only about 2 pounds.
And you might have already answered this. Abby, age 9, what is her natural habitat?
Her natural habitat is forested areas. So you can see how small she is. She actually got into the lining of the toy that she has there.
Oh, that's unusual.
So she's playing. This is what she does. She's showing you exactly where they're from. Any place that has got really well shrubed, lots of trees, basically anything that she can camouflage into with her small size, and any kind of tree shrubs and things like that she can hide in is going to be optimal areas for her.
Taylor, age 10, wants to know if they can be pets.
They cannot be pets. So that is a really important question, Taylor. So these guys are not ferrets. They are their own separate species. Ferrets have been domesticated from the black-footed ferret, which you can find out west in the United States. These guys would be terrible pets just because of the fact of their behavior is very different than a ferret. They can be very bitey. As you can see, they have a lot of energy, and they have very specific dietary needs as well. So they really are better suited out in the wild, or in this case in human care, where she can serve as an ambassador for her species.
Are they related to mongoose?
Distantly, yeah, that's an awesome question. That's a really good observation that you guys had. So they move very similar to mongoose, probably ones that you would see out in Africa and things like that. So they are distantly related. They're all kind of part of the big weasel family. And so while they may not be close cousins, like these guys are probably a little bit more closely related to ferrets, as well as true weasels and otters. That's a really good observation you guys were able to make just based on their body movement, what you guys are seeing.
Stephanie asks if she has claws.
She does have claws. So again, if you guys take a look at that Facebook Live video or the picture that we posted earlier for the event, you guys can actually see a close-up of her feet, and we'll be able to post some more later as well. Oh, there she is. You guys can see how quickly she can actually get away from us. So that's why we're in an indoor space with lots and lots of people to keep an eye on her.
Someone again asked how fast they can run. You guys can see pretty fast.
Just like our friend Graham the skunk from yesterday, we have not clocked her and seen how fast she can run, but she certainly would be faster than any of us. If she wanted to go for a running contest, I'm pretty sure, again, that she would win.
Keep these questions coming, these are really good.
Again, if you guys are just joining us, we're here live at the Virginia Living Museum. We've got a bunch of our keepers on here who are playing with our mink, Koa. She's about 2 years old, weighs 2 pounds, and she is native to forest land. There are 2 species of mink. You have the American mink as well as the Eurasian mink. We do not know which species she is particularly, as she was a fur farm rescue, and we were able to give her a good home here at the Virginia Living Museum.
We do have a good question from Candace. Are they pack animals or do they prefer to live alone?
They do prefer to live alone.
What in the what was that?
She's just playing with us right now. She can get into that tub. I think she's just never seen it before. So she's trying to figure out kind of her best way to get into it. We'll probably give her some more bricks to step onto. Again, she is really, really fun to watch when she swims. So if she doesn't get in the pool for you guys now, we'll make sure we'll get some good footage of it to post later.
Do they normally swim in ponds and lakes?
They do. They are considered semi-aquatic, which means they live part of their life in the water. Usually you can find them near streams or lakes, basically anything. She is a very, very strong, capable swimmer. She does have access to a pool in her enclosure, and she actually prefers to bring all of her toys as well as all of her prey items in there with her.
Corey Waddle, hi Corey, wants to know, do they dig out a burrow to give birth or stay above ground?
That is another really, really good question, Corey. And I do not know 100% the answer to it, but based on their natural history, I would presume that they do actually dig out hollows and things like that for them to be able to give birth to. Normally they don't find shelter in places like that during the day if they're out and hunting, but they will actually sleep in hollows. So we give her lots of different toys to sleep inside of, like cat toys and hutches and things like that. So based on all of that, I would imagine that she would give birth if she were going to. So it looks like one of our nice keepers put another box over there for her, so then maybe we'll see her go for a little bit of a swim. Maybe, maybe not. It's all up to Koa. So just like with a lot of our other animals here at the museum, we do offer choice and control for our animals. And oh, it just turns out she's thirsty. That's pretty cool behavior that you guys get to see. A lot of times you don't actually get to see animals drinking in the wild. So some of you guys may think that this is an otter, but it is in fact a mink. They are closely related to otters. We joke sometimes that she actually looks like a little otter because of how much she does love the water. And it looks like you guys are hopefully going to get a treat from her. Apparently she really likes our camera too. I hope you guys are getting some good screenshots of this at home. So you guys are familiar with our 2 North American river otters. Whew, it's a tongue twister day. that we have here at the museum. We have Mo and Molly. And while this is not a river otter, she does have a lot of very similar behaviors. So we mentioned before, they are closely related to river otters. But you can see a lot of the same behaviors, movement, things like that. It almost looks like a small otter when she runs. And that's because they are related genetically. So that way they're going to have a lot of the same structures and things like that. And this is a mammal. I don't think any of you had questions about that, but you can see she's got lots of fur and whiskers, and that is a trait that is unique to mammals.
Ellie, age 8, wants to know what her favorite food is.
Her favorite food, I would have to say, are mice. She loves to eat mice. It's a really good protein source for her, as well as it's good for training and enrichment and things like that. So we can almost hide them in things, and then she can go ahead and look for them and dig them out.
How does she keep warm when swimming in the winter?
That is probably one of my favorite questions about her. As you guys can see, she is dipping in and out of the water, and she is able to stay quite dry. That's because of that fur that she has. It is so densely packed, it actually holds air between the fur. So again, that's something else that they have in common with their cousin otters. You can see how she just had her head in the water before. She's actually already pretty dry. You guys have also probably seen that she will rub and kind of almost like towel her, dry herself off around the room, and that's a lot of normal behavior for them. So they would be out rubbing in the dirt, in the leaves, things like that. So not only does it scent mark for them, it also helps kind of fluff up their fur and keep dry.
Eileen wants to know, why does she keep sliding on her belly? Is she scratching?
She is scent marking. So just like other mustelids or weasels, a lot of their communication is done through scent. So she actually will rub things to be able to say, hey, other weasels in the area, whether it is an otter or it is another mink perhaps, that she has been in the area and this is her territory.
Sue Ash wants to know from Caitlin, age 10, if they lay eggs.
They do not lay eggs. That's an important difference between most mammals and most birds. So birds lay eggs because they are in a different clade than mammals, but there are actually some mammals in Australia that do lay eggs, but that's a lesson for another time. She gives live birth if she were to give birth. So if you guys have any more questions, we'd be happy to answer them here. Again, if I did not get to your question or I did not know the answer to it, I'll go back in and get you the answers later today. We're going to try to get some cute video of her and just let her kind of run herself out for the rest of the afternoon here. So thank you guys for tuning in. We really, really appreciate it. It means a lot to us as keepers and curators, and really to the whole staff that you guys have been following around everything that we've been doing. We hope that you guys are staying well at home. Again, if you guys want to check out any more of our natural education content, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and even TikTok, or at thevlm.org. And then if you guys want to join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. for another live video, you can see us here and meet some more of our awesome animals. Have a great day, everybody.